Hey everybody. Jeez. Hey everybody, my name is Chandni and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unless this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, then welcome for the first time. So today I'm doing a compare slash contrast slash whatever. I really want to keep this one short, and I know last time I said I wanted to keep it short and then my last video ended up being like 20 minutes long. That was ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't even know I could talk for that long, but apparently I can. So, and if you haven't seen my last video already, you can go ahead and click here. And I would just like you all to keep in mind when you're watching any of my videos that these are opinions. And my opinion of the movie will not lessen your opinion of the movie or make it invalid. So basically, continue to like whatever movies that you like. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't like a movie. Okay, now what films are we talking about today? Goliyon ki Ras-Leela Ram-Leela, directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali, starring Ranveer Singh and Deepika Padukone. Ishaqzaade, directed by Habib Faisal, starring Parineeti Chopra and Arjun Kapoor. Romeo and Juliet, we are back into Shakespeare. And I'm sure you're all like, well, like, why are all of your videos about Shakespeare? Homeboy sticks to me like a jalebi, I don't know, okay? He's always there. Ram-Leela is an outright adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. It was advertised as such and the story follows as such. Whereas Ishaqzaade is not an official adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, and I don't think it was really intended to be an adaptation. If you go through the smaller details in Ishaqzaade, you can absolutely argue that it's not an adaptation. And okay, maybe the story isn't exactly Romeo and Juliet, but the execution of it is pretty similar. So what's the story? How is this Romeo and Juliet? Well, we have two rivaling families. The kids fall in love. And we're all gross sobbing by the end of it. And when people think of Romeo and Juliet, everyone thinks, oh my god, it is such a tragic love story. And that's okay. It's totally okay to be like, oh, this love that bloomed out of adversity is the strongest and purest of all. I'm sorry, my sister's the romantic one, I'm the sarcastic one. But anyway, that's just never the point I got from it. Romeo and Juliet is supposed to be about the fact that you have these two rivaling families that have been rivals for so long that they don't even know why they're rivals. And then you have these two kids that fall in love, and that's so innocent and it's so pure. So there's absolutely a love story in this, but I don't think it's inherently a love story. Spoiler alert, Romeo and Juliet die in the end. And to me, the purpose of that wasn't like, oh, they loved each other so much that they would die for each other. No. Oh man, I'm dead inside. Anyway, the point to me was, hey, you idiots would rather keep fighting and see your children die than end this stupid feud. Childish, all y'all. So much bakwas. But see, that little plot point right there, that is where the two films differ to me. In Sanjay Leela Bhansali's adaptation, you get this more... it's more of a fiery passion between two lovers. Whereas Habib Faisal's version is more of a statement of society. As per usual, Davat Ishq. I want to be him when I grow up. Ram-Leela to me was kind of like 2.5 hours of me going, Vaha Vaha Sanjay ji, jodi kya banai? Deepika and Ranveer are so hot together. Versus Ishaqzaade, where Habib Faisal, the king of callouts, was like, stop the madness, Islam and Hinduism should not lead to the death of children. Both films are so incredibly unique and just cinematographically satisfying. Everyone that knows anything about Bollywood knows that you can always tell Sanjay Leela Bhansali's films apart from any other. He's got this whole lavish, majestic sort of vibe to all of his films. They're all just so grand. Like, how much money do you make, dude? Like, if you look at Devdas in comparison to Ram-Leela or Savarya, you always know that it's a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film because they're just so grand. I feel like he has a cult. People are just so with him. It's nice. It's very unifying. And what are films for if not uniting people? However, I do feel like he breaks his style a little bit. Because he has this whole grand fantasy thing going on, and it feels so rustic and ancient, sort of like Jodha Akbar. So I was like totally convinced that this was taking place sometime in the past. But then all of a sudden Ranveer was like, let's take a selfie and put it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, okay, so, okay, so we're modern then? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So just personally, that sort of ruined the illusion for me. Like, to me, it just felt like seeing Akbar with a cell phone. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's just me. If it's just me, let me know in the comments, or tell me if you felt the same way. I personally feel... I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Ram-Leela Bansali films to me are sort of like that hot person in your lecture or your class that you never talk to but you like to stare at because they look so good. But then you actually talk to them and have a conversation with them and you're like, wow, you're kind of dull, but you're still so pretty. Anyway. I think Bazin was the one that compared theater to a chandelier, whereas film is like a flashlight. I'm not going to discuss that too much because really it is up to interpretation, as is everything in film. But in this case, I think Ram-Leela Bansali is a little chandelier-y. They're so magical and grand, but it is sort of something out of fantasies. It's not something that you would see every single day. And that can be nice because some people use films as an escape from reality, and that's nice. It sort of looks the way really fancy European chocolates taste. It's very indulgent. Habib Faisal, on the other hand, is more of a flashlight. Chandeliers are like, you don't really know where to focus. You can focus anywhere you want, and it's all gonna be sort of like same. Habib Faisal is so much more flashlighty. That's not even a word, but it's so much more of a spotlight. He gives you a very specific thing to focus on. And it is more practical for day-to-day usage, and it's a lot more real. It makes things 10 times more heartbreaking because these are things that can actually happen. Where'd you put it? Sisters are great! Right! Say bye to my sister. If Ram-Leela Bansali's films are like expensive truffles, then Habib Faisal is like pizza. Both are very good, but very different. Let's talk acting. It was good on all fronts. Everyone was good. I'm gonna try to focus on the Romeo and Juliet characters, like the main two, because if I start talking about background characters, there's no way I'm gonna stop. Because background characters add things to movies that main characters can't. But that's another rant for another time. It's really hard to compare acting in both of these cases because they're very different. Both films required something very different from each of the actors. In Golyon Ki Raslila Ram-Leela, it's like things are going really well and then life is like, just kidding. That has to be so emotionally draining to have to show up on set and be sad all the time. Whereas Ishaqzaade was kind of like a roller coaster of emotions. We're happy, now we're angry, now we're really, really happy, now I'm betrayed, now I'm angry, now I'm feeling so many things I didn't know I could feel. Comparing these two different types of acting skills is like comparing a sunset to a starry night. They're both beautiful, but they're both different. In Ram-Leela, Ranveer and Deepika sort of equaled each other out. Ranveer and Deepika totally just go together and they balance each other out so well. And that adds something to the story. The chemistry between the two of them was fiery and passionate, but it was also very familiar. And I think that makes it easier to emphasize the love story aspect of it. With Pariniti and Arjun, they were both wonderful in it, but it was absolutely Pariniti's movie. She stole the show. She has such a dominating screen presence. It's beautiful. The chemistry between Pari and Arjun, it's new and it seems so innocent and nervous, and that entirely emphasizes their story. It really plays up the innocence and makes you empathize with the situation so much more. Anyway, I'm not gonna reveal my bias even though I think it may have leaked through, unless I like overcompensated. What did you think of these movies? Which one was your favorite? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Go in the comments and tell me. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like it and share it with your friends, share it with your neighbors, share it with your friends' neighbors, share it with your friends' neighbors' dogs. And if you'd like to see more of me, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but I am so grateful that you would. And if that's still not enough of me, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. And while you're on Instagram, if you're really into fashion and makeup and all things glamorous, you can go ahead and follow my sister, who you saw earlier. Don't be afraid to message me on any one of these if you have a request for a video that you think I should do, for a movie that you think I really, really need to see, or a movie that I really, really shouldn't see, or if you want to show me a picture of a dog that looks like a lion. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. I'm going to be trying to do videos every Wednesday, but no promises. I will try. I will try. Anyway, I still have no idea how to close this, so